It Didn't Start With You. How Inherited Family Drama Shapes Who We Are and How to End the Cycle. Mark Wolynn. Chapter 2. 3 Generations of Shared Family History. The Family Body. I feel very strongly that I am under the influence of things or questions which were left incomplete or unanswered by my parents and grandparents and more distant ancestors. It often seems as if there were an impersonal karma within a family which is passed on from parents to children. It has always seems to me that I had to complete or perhaps continue things which previous ages had left unfinished. Carl Jung. Memories, Dreams, Reflections. The history you share with your family begins before you are even conceived. In your earliest biological form, as an unfertilized egg, you already share a cellular environment with your mother and grandmother. When your grandmother was 5 months pregnant with your mother, the cell of the egg you developed from was already present in your mother's ovaries. This means that before your mother was even born, your mother, your grandmother, and the earliest traces of you were all in the same body. 3 generations sharing the same biological environment. This isn't a new idea. Textbooks have told us as much for more than a century. Your inception can be similarly traced in your parental line. The precursor cells of the sperms you developed from when you were present in your father were when he was a fetus in his mother's womb. With what we're now learning from the UNIT studies and others about the way stress can be inherited, we can begin to map out how the biological residue of traumas your grandmother experienced can be passed down with far-reaching consequences. There is, however, a significant biological difference in the evolution of the egg and the sperm. Your father's sperm continued to multiply when he reached puberty, whereas your mother was born with her lifetime supply of eggs. Once her egg cells were formed in your grandmother's womb, that cell line stopped dividing. So 12 to 40 or so years later, one of those eggs fertilized by your father's sperm eventually developed into who you are today. In either case, both precursor eggs and sperm cells, science now tells us, can be imprinted by events with the potential to affect subsequent generations. Because your father's sperm continues to develop throughout adolescence and adulthood, his sperm continues to be susceptible to traumatic imprints almost up until the point where when you are conceived. The implications of this are startlingly vast, as we see when we look at the emerging research. Cellular biology. Scientists originally believed that our parents' genes forged the blueprint from which we were created, and that was just the right amount of guidance and nutrition we were developed seamlessly according to the plan. We now know that our genetic blueprint is merely the starting point, as influences from the environment, from as early as conception, begin to shape us emotionally, psychologically, and biologically, and this shaping continues throughout our lives. The pioneering cell biologist Bruce Lipton demonstrates that our DNA can be affected by both negative and positive thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Dr. Lipton spent decades as a medical school professional and research scientist investigating the mechanisms by which cells receive and process information. As a Stanford cellular and researcher from